But now let's get ready, no, for the executive director of DLSU's Research Grant and Management Office, no, from the Department of Filipino. Okay, we have Professor Dr. Fiorilio Petronilio Demeterio III. Okay, so sir, good morning ho. Sir Yum Yum. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. So anytime you're ready, sir.
I'll just share my presentation first. I hope you can see my slides now. A moment, I'll just adjust. Okay, so may I now proceed? So good morning, everyone. Cloudy morning. Thank you very much to the organizers of this event, from the British Academy, Durham University, De La Salle University, for including me in this potentially very high impact activity. Good morning to our esteemed guests and to our very capable participants, very capable, eager, and competitive participants. I will speak about the impact of humanities research and education on social development from three interrelated perspectives that are grounded in my own scholarly work and institutional roles. I would like to begin with a basic principle. Social development is not only about economic, technological advancement, or physical infrastructure. These things are very important. No doubt about it. These things are very important. Social development is more fundamental, but social development is more fundamentally about the formation of people. People who understand themselves, their histories, their languages, their communities, and their shared aspirations. It is also about building of institutions that are not only efficient, but also just, humane, culturally grounded, and historically aware. A society cannot be truly developed if its citizens are alienated from their own language, ignorant of their own history, indifferent to their own heritage, or unable to think critically about the structures that shape their lives. Democracy itself requires more than voters and laws. It requires people endowed with wisdom, ethical judgment, historical consciousness, and critical minds. The woodcut that you can see here is about the mythical ship of fools, the Naren shift. From this starting point, I will discuss the impact of humanities research and education on social development from three perspectives. I have 30 minutes. I'm aware of my time limit. First, I will speak from the standpoint of Philippine studies as a distinguished full professor of Filipino language and Philippine culture. Second, I will speak from the standpoint of heritage studies as head of the College of Liberal Arts Matter and Memory Research Laboratory. Very fancy name. There's a laboratory there, but there's no physical laboratory involved. We're also using our minds here. Bare minds, almost bare minds. So this is our tangible and intangible heritage studies group. Third, I will speak from the standpoint of critical Filipino philosophy as an advocate of the subfield of Filipino philosophy. My central argument is simple. The humanities contribute to social development by forming self-aware persons, memory-bearing communities, and critically reflective institutions. From the perspective of Philippine studies, the humanities contribute to social development by helping Filipinos understand themselves as historical, linguistic, cultural, and political subjects. First, in our university, our program is the one pushing for the use of Filipino language as the medium of our shared understanding. We cannot understand ourselves as a nation if only the elite share the knowledge produced by our universities. Second, humanities can provide our country with Filipino perspective, history that can serve as reference point and confidence boosting and confidence to boost in our journey towards the future. Third, humanities can also provide our country with the knowledge about ourselves. Knowing the past is not enough. We need also our present in order to see our future better. Thus, humanities as Philippine studies contributes to social development by helping Filipinos understand themselves without colonial inferiority, romantic nationalism, or cultural amnesia. From the perspective of heritage studies, the humanities contribute to social development by preserving, interpreting, and activating cultural memory. First, my research laboratory's advocacy for the preservation and study of tangible heritage is an advocacy for the Filipino people to have around them concrete materials where they can anchor their cultural memories and their regional or national identity building. Second, my research laboratory's advocacy for the documentation and study of intangible heritage is an advocacy for the Filipino people to preserve, understand, and transmit the knowledge, practices, skills, values, and forms of expression through which cultural memories are embodied. Regional and national identities are continually negotiated, and traditions remain meaningful across generations. Thus, humanities as heritage studies contributes to social development by ensuring that progress is anchored on cultural memories that stand on concrete artifacts and will not proceed on a pathway where development is understood as the erasure of our traditional cultural diversity. From the perspective of critical Filipino philosophy, the humanities contribute to social development by examining the ideas, structures, institutions, and mental habits that shape Filipino social life. First, Filipino philosophy can demonstrate that our social institutions carry inherited assumptions, power relations, and patterns of inclusion and exclusion. Sustained critiques of these institutions is a developmental advocacy not merely for stronger institutions, but for institutions that are more just, reflective, inclusive, and historically conscious. Second, our society is not just shaped by laws and institutions, but more so by habits of thoughts, colonial mentality, authoritarian obedience, patronage politics, anti-intellectualism, regional prejudice, class arrogance, sexism, and fatalism. These are historically constructed mental pathways that critical Filipino philosophy can analyze so that the Filipinos will understand that these are not natural, permanent, or unavoidable realities. Thus, humanities as critical Filipino philosophy can help us purify our institutions and habits of thoughts, or at least align and use them to our inclusive and pro-Filipino visions of social development. By conclusion, to conclude my short sharing, I want to connect humanities with the old Tagalog word paraluman. This is not the paraluman immortalized directly by the Eraserheads in their Huling El Bimbo song. Paraluman means muse or guide. It can be male or female. I found an old document calling San Agustin a paraluman. So it's like we're very fond of, or we have the tendency rather to feminize some of our masculine, feminine categories. For example, the diwata can be a male or a female, but now the diwata is exclusively, almost exclusively female. It's the same as paraluman. It can be male, it can be female, but now it's exclusively feminized. So paraluman means muse or guide, but it can also mean the magnetic needle of a compass. Maybe this is the more original meaning of paraluman. Padaluman or padaguman in Bisaya. Dagum is needle. So this is the needle that points always to the north. If we understand humanities as a muse, a beautiful inspirer, it will be very easy for us to dismiss this paraluman as superficial and superfluous. But if we understand humanities as the magnetic needle of the compass of our destiny, then we need this paraluman for our journey as a nation. We do humanities research not just for beauty, not just for our own selves, not just for our own promotion. We do humanities research to strengthen Philippine humanities so that it can serve better as our nation's paraluman, padaluman, padaguman. Otherwise, our journey as a nation becomes vulnerable to amnesia, imitation, manipulation, and drift. And if we are not yet a ship of fools, the Naren shift, we can very easily become one. Thank you very much.